Capitalism and greed will be the end of us all. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel where we love hoodies, hot candle wax, and video games. I have been having a little bit of trouble deciding on where to take the direction of this channel after my first video. After that first video was uploaded, I had a pretty decent response, and a lot of that was thanks to my mom. Thanks, Mom, I love you. And I didn't know if I wanted to create a lifestyle YouTube channel, but what's the point in that when there's not much of a lifestyle to have, especially during the COVID-19 crisis at the time of filming this right now. Everybody's inside. So I just thought maybe the general direction that I would like to take this channel is video game content. I love playing video games. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is this game right here, Death Stranding. And you may be wondering, well, this game came out months and months and months ago. What are you doing that you haven't played it yet? So the Days of Play sale happened, I think, a month ago in June. And Death Stranding was at $25 used, and I just thought, I think I'll pick it up just to see what's going on here. Now, when Death Stranding was first announced and we all figured out what the game was about and realized that you were basically just an Amazon package courier, a glorified one in a post-apocalyptic world, just delivering packages, and there's one larger than life story that's binding everything together. And when I first heard that, I was on the same boat of many other people, which is, what is this BS? What is going on? This does not look interesting. This looks boring. This looks ridiculous. The story looks great, but I don't know if I can play as a glorified package handler. In a video game, when video games at the core of it are supposed to be fun, or at the very least, a piece of an artistic expression from the developers and the directors. And I had no interest in playing this Hideo Kojima game. Then the hype died down, and now playing Death Stranding has becoming a little bit more alluring to me. Reason why is because I'm somebody who doesn't really, I guess you can call me a hipster. I don't really operate well when there's a lot of hype going on around a certain thing. Case in point, when Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City came out, everybody was talking about it, so I couldn't really form my own opinion because everybody, like, day one, this is the greatest album of all time, and this time. It took me about maybe 1.5 to 2 years to actually, like, finally sit down and consume Good Kid, Mad City, and I have not been listening to it. I've been listening to it more this year than anything with my wife, Caitlin. Same thing with Frank Ocean's Blonde. The same day that that came out, everybody that I knew, people that I didn't know, and mutual friends were like, this is the greatest album. Frank Ocean is a genius. And it took me until this year, maybe even late last year, to actually consume that album. So it takes me a while to actually consume it because I don't want to be flooded by other people's thoughts in a way that may negatively impact my opinion of it. Now, granted, there's this whole thing going on with The Last of Us 2. I will do a review on that video game because at the moment I'm currently loving it, but I have a larger thing to say about discourse when it comes to video games and The Last of Us Part 2. But that's for another time. Even reviewing this game, because I'm playing The Last of Us Part 2, I probably won't be playing this game for maybe another month or so, but whenever I do consume this game in its entirety, I think I will end up reviewing it, which I guess that's going to be incredibly late. But I wanted this conversation to be about a larger thing. The larger thing being, I've never, ever in my life played a Hideo Kojima game. I think the most that I've played was a demo of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, and I couldn't get past the first level because at the time I was a child. I didn't know much about stealth games, but it brings this larger conversation where I hear a lot of the times when somebody admits to something like that, or admits to not playing what is widely received to be a pinnacle of gaming and the art form, saying that you can't call yourself like a real gamer if you have not played these specific games, this, that, and the third. And I would like to add some context to that, you know, in the sense that when I was younger, I'm not gonna say anything negative, but realistically, when I was younger, even into my high school years, it was incredibly unrealistic of me in the financial situation that my parents were in to expect them to pay $60 every single time that I wanted a video game. When I first got the PS2, I had 2 games, and that was Tak and the Power of Juju and Kingdom Hearts 1. I didn't even have a memory card. So whenever my parents asked me if I wanted a game, I would always have to decide in my head, do I want a memory card and just continue playing the games that I already have, or get a new game and have a new experience? Granted, I would have to continue restarting the games. At some point, I ended up having a memory card, but that was the situation that I was in. So there's a lot of video games that were from my childhood that many people my age or around my age group have played and it means a lot to them, like the Metal Gear Solid series. That train completely missed me because I didn't have much access to play all of those games. The most was in one of those, I think it was called Jam Pack. This company released demos, like one disc, and it had like a bunch of demos. And I think the one with Snake Eater on it was the same one with a trailer for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It had Silent Hill 4 The Room. I think a Jak and Daxter demo, maybe Jak 3. And one of those was Metal Gear Solid, and I've always heard about Metal Gear Solid, and I played it, and I just was not very good at the game. So when I heard of Death Stranding, I had no connotation of, well, I love and trust Hideo Kojima, so I'm gonna give this game a shot. And a lot of the times people were saying that it's only really Kojima fanboys who want to play this game. And it's going to be very interesting coming from that this will be my first Hideo Kojima video game that I've ever played. So I'm kind of coming at it from a sense that I don't really know what this guy's stuff is truly about. I've not really been exposed to a lot of his work, except for maybe PT, and even then I have not played that game. When it was Silent Hills and that was going to come out, I wanted to play that whenever it came out, but unfortunately we're not going to see that because that looked incredible. But also I remember in the sense that even when I was in high school, I think I got the Xbox 360. I think the Xbox 360 may have come out in 2005. I didn't get an Xbox 360 until 2009 for Christmas. And I think I just had Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 for it. And a lot of my friends, it's like, all right, finally, I'm in the next generation of video games. Even then, I still couldn't expect my parents to just spend $60 on video games whenever I asked, so I had to resort to watching playthroughs of video games. My first time experiencing Far Cry 3 was watching a walkthrough of the entire game because, granted, and it's not that my parents didn't want to or anything like that. You have to understand that growing up in the Bronx and your parents are in a certain situation, not to reveal anything, it's unrealistic to expect them to pay a lot of money. Video games are an expensive habit, and to keep up, with different controllers, or when yours blows out, you got to get a new one, extra storage, new video games. It's a lot. So a lot of the times, the way I would have to get video games, granted my parents did buy me video games. I'm not saying that they never ever bought me video games. When I asked and it was the right time and my grades were good, then they would pull it out and be like, all right, whatever you want, do this. But even in my circle of high school friends, everybody just played Call of Duty, Gears of War, and Halo and 2K. So even whenever I would want to play something different, like an RPG, if my parents didn't have anything to buy me an RPG, I couldn't really count on my friends to say, hey, can I borrow this game? Because everybody was just playing first-person shooters. Even now to this day, whenever I go back, I'm looking at old RPGs. I hacked my 2DS recently, and I'm replaying Pokemon Emerald. So whenever I do go back, it's to play like old Nintendo games. And I remember not having the access because everybody's playing 2K and Call of Duty. And I remember it was so bad among my circle of friends. And granted, I don't hold any grudges. Back in the day, I loved those people, but you know, you go through high school, hormones and anxieties. I remember when a friend, Jeremy, let me borrow Tomb Raider 2013. I went to my friends and I was like, yo, I'm really, really excited to play this game. And all of my friends laughed at me and said, that game is trash.
Fellas, what are you doing?
I'm just saying hi to Bob.
No, I think you're cutting in line.
Well, settle down, Scott.
No, I'm not going to settle down.
No way.
Get in the back, please.
Boo.
Boo.
Back in line.
Thank you. That's right.
But even if you entertain the idea of playing something just a little bit different, they'd be like, but it's not 2K. And I remember in the first year of me owning an Xbox 360, I got Dragon Age Origins and I was talking about it and I was like, this game is incredible. I love this game. And everybody around me would say that game is trash specifically because it doesn't have multiplayer. And I was dumbfounded. I was like, what are you talking about? So when you hear somebody say that they have not played a specific game, sometimes it could be that maybe they're just not interested. But I think we need to stop labeling people and change the way we talk about video games or even movies or TV shows to say you can't call yourself this if you have not done this. It leads to this form of entitlement and gatekeeping of, well, I've played all these games and because you have not, you are not on the level of me. So that's just one of the very interesting things about video game discourse that I found very interesting, especially with a lot of the content creators that I watch, Reddit posts and things like that. And it's going to be very interesting because when I'm going to be talking about The Last of Us 2, I will also be talking about the larger conversation surrounding The Last of Us 2 and how we speak about video games. So this is just a little bit of that. And also, I look forward to playing this game because the idea of that reminds me of a weird indie film that doesn't have a normal 3-act structure. Those types of movies really cater to me and I enjoy those types of experiences, and it seems this is the video game format of an artist taking a huge risk, and I don't know if it's gonna pan out for me. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's okay, but I can't wait to see for myself what this game is about. And I know what this looks like. My insecurities and anxieties is prompting me to make a video, but I'd rather have my insecurity and anxiety prompt me to make a video because in the past, those insecurities and anxieties would prompt me to just stay in bed all day and cry. And I'm up, I'm making a video, and I'm alive. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you if you've come across this for watching. For the future, I think I'm just gonna be doing mostly video game content. So if you come across this, you wanna hear what I have to say next, feel free to subscribe, comment, and like, and thank you for watching. Peace out. Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Justin back at it again. I completely forgot that while editing this, I wanna let you guys know we, being my wife and I, we do 2 podcasts. One is a movie and TV podcast called Did You Watch? And we're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of season 1 of Pose. And we also have the Friendly Strangers podcast. I will be linking those in the description in case you wanted to go and subscribe to them. I will link you to the Anchor page, which is where we publish a lot of our podcasts, but you can find them on Spotify, iTunes, things like that. So I'm going to link them in the description for you to go ahead and subscribe to our podcasts.